So I was going to the Nether to check out the fortresses about making a potential transformation video, but when I made my Nether portal, I actually messed up and made it slightly bigger than normal, but when I lit it, I was surprised to see it light up, and I was like, hey guys, what's going on here? And they said, yeah, you can make bigger portals now, like since 1.5, and I was like, what? Mind blown moment for a second there. I mean, that's what happens when you spend most of your time in creative mode and not paying attention to the game updates. This is essentially what happens. You just lose touch completely with the game. But what this means is I can make these excellent looking portals in vanilla Minecraft by using these larger scale portals. So let's get straight into it. To start off with, I'm just going to show you a bunch of designs and then I'm going to go a little bit in depth on how it's actually going to work. So this one is actually based on the smallest size portal possible. Now we don't want to pretend that it's not a portal. This is why I've decided to use nether bricks and darker coloured blocks to try and decorate it. But we will, later on, come into some more designs which are a little bit more on the creative side, but these are the sorts of ones you might use in your own house to decorate your portal. It very much screams nether, including this one which is slightly taller. And these are very simple ones because they still have that rectangular shape, and that's exactly what I want to address in this video. Because we're able to make the portals much larger, we're able to decorate them more than just what we've done here with these two little bits on the side. We can make things like this and integrate them into cliffs. Now, this is a little bit of skullduggery here because the portal isn't actually integrated, it's not actually that shape. We've done a little bit of a trick here, and that's what I want to show you today to try and spark some imagination and see what you can come up with this nether portal idea. So just to demonstrate, this is the normal size portal as we went over earlier, but you can make them bigger, and here's two little examples, or rather large examples, to display this point, and there is a limit. You can't make a portal the size of a map, there is a physical limit on both the short end and the high end. So how do we get these shapes? Well, there is a little bit of a trick. We essentially make a shape in front of a larger portal and then cover up the excess purple portal block. So as you can see, I've got a rather rugged looking circle. This is going to be our quote portal. If we actually tried to light this in a vanilla sense, it wouldn't form a portal, as you can see there. Those of you with world edit will be able to set the inside of that to portal, but most people don't have world edit. So you need to make a portal square behind it and light that. So as you can see, this is the entire basis of our portal. We have the shape, but we need to just cover up any excess portal to make it look like that circle is our portal. It's a little bit of a trick, but it's quite startling how much it works. So I've just covered it up with some very basic hand terraining and then textured around it very, very quickly. You can definitely do better than what I just did there. And I'll be showing this particular design a couple of times as it's the one I kind of go to, because when I think of portals, that is roughly what I think of. But the general concept of putting some sort of decoration in front of a big square portal leads us on to many other options. The crew have put together a bunch of cool designs. This portal is integrated into a tree. I love the idea of portal being integrated into nature of some kind, and this design really is one of my favourites that I want to show you today. It's not my favourite, because my favourite one's somewhere down the line. Oh, there's a little bit of a hole there. This one is actually fairly good, but to make this in vanilla is nuts. So unless you're an avid builder with all of the tools necessary, this probably isn't a good idea, but on the other hand, it's probably given you some pretty cool ideas, I hope. This one is one that I made, and it's supposed to mimic an Ankh symbol, you know, an Egyptian symbol. I didn't do very well on it, but you get the idea of how you can use the portal in any sort of biome situation. This could be used on some sort of desert build. You will need to tidy up the back a little bit on these builds. They are quite messy, and having a back actually helps quite a lot. Now this one is also one of my favorites. It's like the basement portal, and it's like spreading across your house. It does take a lot of obsidian, but the effect is really quite nice. It makes it look like the portal was a mistake or an accident, and I love builds that tell a story, and this portal doesn't feel like it was intentional, and I just absolutely love that. So that's something you could put in your basement. This one's a bit of a jokey kind of one. It's two hands coming from the clouds holding the portal, but the irony is it goes to hell and not to heaven. So I actually quite like the joke of it, really. I wouldn't suggest making it, but if you wanted to use this in any other situation, the whole point is you can use these portals in creative ways. That portal there is actually the normal one. It's the 2x3 or whatever. Now you can use portals structurally. This one here is entirely portal for the walls of whatever this pillar thing is. It's meant to be some sort of ruin, and it's like a relic in the middle. Now you will need creative for that little bit there. As you can see, there's one of the dragon ender crystals there and on a spire, and it's a pretty cool thing, but you can't just place them. You need to have some tools to be able to do that. So don't tell the crew that I did that. Well, if you do manage to place down an ender crystal, don't break it. This one, let's just move on. This one is awesome. This one is my favorite one. It's the portal in the book. It's probably not ever going to be used by you guys, but as a creative concept, I absolutely adore the idea. And this is exactly what I meant by using these different sized portals in creative ways. You could make some sort of fairy tale land, and that could be your metaphorical way to another world. Now this one is a bit more symbolic of Nether, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with the Nether portal, is keep it in theme. And theming an atmosphere is a really important part of building, but maybe that should come in for another time. Let's take a look over all of these portal designs, and I really hope that at least one of these has given you some sort of inspiration on how to decorate your own Nether portal, even if it is just putting some sprawling obsidian in your basement to make it look more alive. Now obviously these designs aren't perfect, and I don't expect you to replicate them, but they are supposed to give you some ideas. This one in particular I will come back to because I'll show you a way of integrating it into your world. And then these two last ones are ones that I kind of expect a bit more realistic, but just decorating something as menial as your Nether portal can just improve the surroundings. Maybe you have a community Nether portal and you'd want to do something extra special for it. And that's kind of where I was heading. And for anyone that's new to my channel, I just want to let you know that I usually do things this way. I don't do block for block tutorials because I want to teach and inspire other people, not just kind of show them what to do. It's all about creating your own image, and sometimes these designs help you. And speaking of which, this design here is my idea for a community project, like a portal for anyone to use. Now you find a nice big cliffside, and those trees are planted, and we have done a little bit of sprucing up here, but the idea is very simple. You just create a gigantic portal for anyone to use, and perhaps if there's a river you put a bridge over there and a nice pathway. The hand terraining will take a while, and just to prove the point, it is completely square. There's been no world edit used, but between a bunch of you can make this very simple portal. Now simplicity is important, and you can see that the atmosphere of this build is quite stark. The portal has a nice transition into the cliff, and there's nothing that sort of interrupts your view. Like for example, this would not look good in the middle of a town. I think I will come back to building an atmosphere around your build another time, but let's just prove the point. You can just go inside and you end up in the Nether. Now I am under the impression that the Nether is incredibly outdated. Even the generation looks a bit odd in my opinion. I really think it's due some attention from the developers, although I don't really play survival, so I really don't know. And the whole reason I came here was to transform a Nether fortress, but before I even got there I was like, these portals suck, it's time to change them. So maybe we'll also go ahead and do a fortress. I know people love the Transform series. There's the Sea Temple, the Stronghold, and the Nether Fortress that I still haven't done, and then I still haven't touched on any of the smaller ones like the Igloo, the Sea Monument, I think someone said, or Desert Well. I mean, how the hell am I going to transform a desert well? I honestly don't know. It's so tiny. What am I going to do to it? Just... Huh? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to see your portals and all the creative stuff you guys come up with, because that's the whole point. If you guys don't come up with anything creative, I failed. I have failed you. Anyway, thanks again. Peace.